Okay, so this is going to be the first ever podcast by me, Adam Callan. I've been meaning to do this for, like 7 years, and it's never really happened. I guess just starting is probably the first most important thing. I've owned this microphone I've been talking into for 5 years, totally planning I was going to do this someday. But hey, at least I started. I guess that's good. I don't know what I'm going to talk about now. I'm here with Christina, who's being very quiet. She's here to try to give me topics to talk about. I'm getting a very blank look. Uh-oh. Looks like I'm going to be on my own on this one. Let's see. So how about this? On my Instagram page, which is Art of the Hustler, one of the most common questions that people ask me all the time is the wrong question. Every time it's, how do you make your money? How do you make money? How do I make money? It's like, how of a generic question is that? Like, you're not going to get any information back because every person's going to make money very differently. But it's the techniques and the skills behind it that they use to apply it towards whatever it is that they make money. So it's not like, if you ever ask someone, hey, how do you make money? There's millionaires out there making money literally selling cow shit. Do you want to sell cow shit for the rest of your life? Probably not. So who gives a fuck what they do to make their money? It's those nuances that have been honed in over years. And most of the time it's either entrepreneurship or just people selling. They've just been selling forever. Like those kids that had lemonade stands. They learned to sell back then. And really all selling is just breaking down the fear of, basically being shy. Because it's some person you don't know and you need to get information out of them as quick as possible. So I think that's why probably the first thing you'd want to learn is building rapport. And there's a couple good authors out there. Actually, the guy that I first even learned what that word really meant from was, in a persuasion way, is this guy Kenrick Cleveland. He has a audio seminar called Maximum Persuasion. Yeah. It's amazing. Like, it opened my eyes because it wasn't like it. I did learn a lot of new things, and that's the key thing that got me into wanting to learn what NLP is, with neuro linguistics programming. And I wound up studying that for years. Highly recommend it. I mean, any person that's in sales or has to talk to people for a living has to learn NLP. It's massively, massively important. Anyway, so this Kendrick Cleveland Power of Persuasion, Maximum Persuasion, what it did was basically put words around and describe what I've been doing my whole life. So, like, whenever I go out to a new bar or restaurant and I'm with some friends or whatever, and they'll be like, dude, how did we wind up getting half of our drinks for free? And how did you meet the owner so fast? And how did you, like you're already friends with all the bartenders. They're already hooking you up. Like, what the fuck's going on? And I was like, I don't fucking know. I mean, like, perfect example was, like, years ago, I was like 25. I just said, fuck it, and bought a ticket to Germany just because it was the cheapest place out of the country. That's why I wanted to go. And there was like $400 round trip. And I just quit my job. And I was like, sweet, I got $500 to my name. I don't start my next job till next week. I'm going to go spend all my money. So I bought a ticket to Germany, Frankfurt. And then while I was there, I was like, wow, that's pretty awesome. It was my first time in Europe. The only other places I've really been are, Canada, Bahamas, Japan. So when I landed in Frankfurt, I was like, wow, this is really cool. The architecture is amazing. The food is phenomenal. It's just everything smells like baked goods everywhere. But it wasn't terribly impressive. Like, it was cool just because it was different. It was really why I really enjoyed it. So then I went to go find my hostel that I had planned out, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And it started snowing. It was freezing cold. And I was wearing my Doc Martens and jeans and, like my leather jacket and a backpack. And I'm wandering around this. Now it's turning to a blizzard. I'm like, well, looks like I'm going to have to sleep on the street tonight because all the hotels were booked for some, like, conference. And so the only things that had availability were, like, Marriott type things where, they're $200-300 a night. I didn't even have $200-300 to my name, let alone for that. So, so I wound up just crashing out on a park bench for a little bit. I was like, oh, that's where I'm going to sleep. And then someone saw me and told me that there was a hostel around the corner, and then they took me over there, and that's how I found the hostel. While I was in there, this business guy that was there for the conference was like, hey, why are you even in Frankfurt? You should be in Berlin. That's where all the cool shit is. I'm like, I have no idea. I just landed here because it was the cheapest ticket. I don't know where I'm going now. And he's like, yeah, just take the train. The train's right there. It was like 100 yards away from me. It was the Frankfurt am Main train station. And so I was like, okay, I'll figure it out. So I just walked over to the train station. And I was like, hey, I want to go to Berlin. And they're like, okay, these are the options for times. Bought a ticket. Jumped on the train to Berlin, and a few hours later, got in Berlin. And when I got there, it was a whole new city. Again, didn't know anything or anybody. I'm walking around. And I found this bar called Paul's Metal Eck, I think it was called. Awesome metal bar, crazy huge demons and chicks on crucifixes hanging around on the walls. Really crazy place. Old, like you can tell it's been there a long time. And so I was hanging out there for a while. I'm like, this place is great. And I'm like, as I was getting late, I'm like, fuck, I need a place to sleep. I don't have anywhere, and I can't afford a hotel. So I'm like, hey, does anyone know any good hostels around here? And they're like, yeah, you should go to this one right around the corner. It's called the Odyssey. They're like, oh, you'll like it. Just tell them you came from here. I'm like, okay. So I go walking over, and I walked into the Odyssey Hotel, and I walk in, and as soon as I walked in, the guy behind the bar / check-in area, it's the same thing. He was like, hey, welcome. Slammed down a huge beer, and was like, here. And their beer is called Berliner. It was a Berliner beer. And in Germany, it's very not polite to, it's pretty much anywhere else. If someone gives you a drink, you don't be like, oh, I don't drink beer. Like, that's dick move. But I don't drink beer. I hate beer. But I drink. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to be like a dick. So I'm like, oh, thank you. So I took beer, took a big swig, almost fucking died. I'm like, can I get like a glass of Jack Daniels or whiskey or something? I was like, okay. So I was chasing my beer with whiskey just so you get the taste out of my mouth. But anyway, so we're hanging out drinking. I haven't even checked in or anything, and we're just talking. Me and his name is Sven. And then finally he's like, oh, so you need a place? I'm like, yeah. I just need a place to crash. I'm only here for one night. And I told my whole story and how I have, just running on fumes cash-wise, but, I'm having the time of my life. He's like, oh, okay, you stay here. So he let me stay. And next morning, I just remember just passing out. Oh, no, this friend, a friend of his from Austria came by with some crazy homemade fucking Greek yogurt that we just had to try. Apparently, being completely shit-faced at like 4 a.m. and thinking we're going to eat a lot of Greek yogurt was a great idea. It wasn't. Everyone wound up getting sick and then passing out. But I remember that. And he brought wine too. So we're drinking wine after we've already been drinking beer and whiskey all night and then slamming Greek yogurt. It's fucking retarded. So anyway, so next morning I wake up and I come walking downstairs, super early in the morning. I'm getting ready to catch my train to go back to Frankfurt to get on the plane to go back to New York to start my first day at work. And as soon as I walk downstairs, Sven's standing there all wide-eyed. Hey! Slams a beer on the counter. Have one on me, man. I'm like, oh, fuck. Are you kidding me right now? The last thing I want is alcohol, let alone beer, at 8 a.m. I'm like, oh, fuck. So I took it, obviously. Started drinking it. And just, like, chasing it with, like, some ham or some other cold cuts they had there for the free breakfast. And what was awesome, though, is, like, I was hanging out. I'm like, okay, cool, what do I owe you? Because I racked up a bar tab the night before that I didn't pay for. I had the night in the hostel I had to pay for. And I only had limited money, so I had to make sure I had the right enough money before I started doing other things, like going out and buying shit I don't need. So I'm like, he's like, no, don't worry about it. It's on me, man. It was a great time hanging out. I was like, why are you kidding? It's like, so I wound up getting everything, my whole bar tab, everything comped, just because. And I'm like, it wasn't like I was doing anything. It's like I was just having a great time. Just happened to be the owner of the hostel I was hanging out with the entire time. And now, even still to this day, I talk to him. It's been 13 years later. But a couple times I go back. One time I went back for a month and stayed at his hostel. And in exchange of me setting up Wi-Fi throughout his whole hostel, I stayed there for free for a month. I lived over there. So it's just like, it's awesome. I just made great friends just by talking to people and having fun with people and not lying. Like not telling people I'm someone I'm not or whatever. Just having a great time and, who gives a shit who anybody is. Mm-hmm. And I think that's helped out a lot. I mean, because what it does is it just gives you, like, you just somehow have built up that thing of just not even having balls to go talk to people you don't know, but reframing that negative thing of being embarrassed or afraid or whatever of someone you don't know, and turning it into this could be the night of my life if I talk to this person. I want to know what's up. So every time when I approach a new person where I've never met them, never seen them, but I'm like, hey, I'm in a place by myself. I need to strike up conversation. I'm like, okay, well, hey, one of these people's probably got some crazy stories, and who knows what will come of it. And just going up and being excited to talk to new people. And sure enough, sometimes, they do, but a lot of times they let you down because they're like, douchebags in their, bag of just nothingness. And you're like, okay, fuck, that was a waste of time. So it's like you're kind of hunting for those people that have really cool stories or could have like a really cool hookup and whatever. And then I find that from just the years of me doing it, it's like entrepreneurs tend to gravitate to other entrepreneurs. So it's like, entrepreneurs, I guess, probably live a certain lifestyle. It's more of a free lifestyle. You kind of get to do whatever you want to do whenever you want. Where everyone else is like if I ask your average Joe, hey, what'd you do last Wednesday at 2 p.m.? I would say, I'm a betting man, and I would totally bet 100% on, well, I was at work. It's Wednesday at 3 in the afternoon. Where else would I be? Because that's what you're raised to do. It's like go to school, go to college, get a job, 9 to 5, hopefully retire if they don't lay you off, and get the golden watch and die. And it's crazy because it's like, what did I do last week at Wednesday at 3? I have no fucking clue. I have no idea because it could be anything. I could have been in a different state. I could have been a different client. I could have been, high as a kite. I could have been, I don't know. I mean, who knows? And that's awesome. I think that's one of the biggest things, that entrepreneurs probably crave is that continual change and development, but under their control. Because that's the one thing that I always hated about having a job is that dude could fire me. Like first I hated that there was someone over me that could fire me because if they don't like the way I'm doing something or whatever, it's like, I'm not responsible. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, because you think something and then my livelihood is in, control by this other person who could be a fucking moron. How many people out there do have bosses that are fucking idiots and they complain about them all the time? Your life is in that person's hand. Fuck that noise. So yeah, I never wanted to be in that position. So I try to get out of that one as quick as possible. And that's when I started consulting.